Hey there guys, Dragon Master here, and I want to welcome you to Star Wars on Earth, Unity, Episode 3, The First Battle. So, don't really got anything to say, uh, I don't really have anything to say, so I guess without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Jason would sit aboard his new flagship, a new Star Destroyer flagship, while he watched as his fleet gathered. He was currently looking over a galactic map of the galaxy, and he was thinking of where the first battle of the new war would take place. Currently, he was happy, as many territories in the inner worlds were joining him, along with mid-worlds to even the outer rim. And it seems that the Terrans would not even interfere, finally, as it seems that that some of their politicians and many other people were agreeing with what he was saying. He then thought of something and then looked, after he had thought of the Terrans. He found the perfect place to start the first battle of the war. He would start with Duros. It was it was the home planet of the Duros, and it had been fiercely loyal to the Republic. Even now, it was one of the worlds in the Inner Rim not joining his new empire, that's Galactic Alliance. He thought it would be the perfect place to start the war. It was valuable and rich in resources, perfect for ships to be built. He then ordered his fleet and then looked up at the stars when they were about to go into hyperspace and said, "Ah, so it begins. Huh? I wonder what my family's thinking. You must probably think of me as some sort of monster traitor. But you do not understand the truth of this all," he thought, and then sighed. He then said, "Jump to hyperspace immediately." And then they went into hyperspace. Across the galaxy on Coruscant, Senator Leia Organa was currently looking over the reports. Duros was requesting more ships to join their fleet they had gathered up. As from what she had heard, many worlds neighboring their system had joined up with her son Jason, and they were scared they could be targeted. She sighed, and with the Terrans not joining the war this time, many people were probably maybe agreeing that the Republic maybe should die finally and be reborn into something new. She understood what her son was saying, as the Republic, through all of its time, had always had its problems, even from the beginning. But she thought that there was still a small bit of hope that it could be redeemed. As the Terrans say, some people can be redeemed, but they also say that some can't. She sighed. She then received reports from intelligence, and then when she looked, she paled, and immediately called in General Akbar. General Akbar would walk in. He had survived the Yuuzhan Vong War. Side note, Chewie and Akbar are still alive. They didn't die in the Yuuzhan Vong War. He had survived the war, but had been very much injured. The Terrans had to give him cybernetics. Both the New Republic and the Terrans gave him cybernetics, which had kept him alive for all these years. He was still one of the Republic's top generals. Leia would then tell him and say, "My son's fleet is about to go attack Duros." And Akbar would nod and understand what Jason was doing. He's going for the planet's resources, as it has been crucial for fuel in the Republic ships there for years. Along with the materials on the planet, it will help him build new ships. She nods her head. "That's why I need you and your fleet to get there now. Jason's fleet has to stop by a nearby system, only a few systems away, to get their ships ready for the invasion. It buys you enough time to get there." He nods his head and immediately leaves. She then sighs and asks Jason why. We cut back to a day or two later. Jason's fleet has been assembled. It is strong. It has over 100 ships, from Corellian to Star Destroyer cruisers, and even a few Mandalorians have joined him. Jason sighed and immediately ordered his fleet to go into hyperspace. As the Force had told him, this battle was going to be different than what he had expected. And when his fleet arrived, he was not disappointed. General Akbar's fleet had arrived an hour ago. There were Mon Cala cruisers everywhere, along with the New Republic's fleet. Jason would look at this fleet before he would receive a call from General Akbar. General Akbar would ask Jason to stand down. Jason would look indifferent and explain he will not. Jason explained that the Galactic Republic is corrupt, General Akbar. It needs to be reborn into a new galactic alliance. Even the Terrans understand, as they are not interfering in this battle. General Akbar explains, yes, the Terrans are not interfering, but you have forced the New Republic's hand, as you cannot just invade Duros. He explains, but Jason says, I will. I have contacted, and some of the people there have agreed to join me. This made General Akbar curious and asked who, and he explained, one of the politicians there, a few of the politicians, as they are young, new members who see the corruption and hope to make Duros a better place. And I even have some of the people's support. General Akbar closes his eyes and explains, I understand, Jason, but you have 3 seconds. Well, I guess 3 minutes to immediately turn your fleet around and leave. Jason looks quiet before explaining no, and he explains, then you've left me no choice. And they both turn off their hologram. Jason then looks at his commander of the ship and then explains, along with Akbar does the same, fire. And then the first shot is fired, and what would be known across the galaxy as the first battle of the Civil War. The battle would rage on for hours. Jason had his top commanders with him and strategists, as he knew Akbar was the head of the New Republic's fleet for a reason, as he was one of their best generals. His top commanders explained that Akbar was doing strong and had had at least an hour to build up a solid defense. The battle had been going on for a few hours, and he had already lost almost half his fleet, and Akbar had only lost a quarter of his. Jason's top strategist said that his defense is pretty good, sir. Even with only an hour, he has built up a solid defense, and while we battle, he is fortifying the planet. Jason wondered before realizing something. Of course. I'll use an old Terran's move. Gather all our forces into one spear, into a straight line. This surprised them, but they agree. The remaining fleet of his Star Destroyers and Corellian ships and Mandalorian ships gather into one sort of in the middle and gather sort of looking like a spear. The strategists look at each other before realizing what Jason is doing, as Akbar's defense looks like a shield, and the best way to break a shield is to ram it. The ships immediately move into one straight line and immediately charge. Akbar orders all of his ships to open fire, but of course it doesn't work, as even if they take out Star Destroyers, they are breaking through. Jason is pleased as his ship is in the front and immediately staring down General Akbar's headship. He immediately orders he has the perfect shot and then orders them to activate the super weapon. From the pieces of the Death Star they had gathered, along with a few other experimental, they had created a sort of silencer laser in the middle of where his hangar was supposed to be. He immediately opened fired, and he stared down at General Akbar's cruiser as it fired, and General Akbar then looked forward and explained, it has been an honor serving with you all. I hope in whatever next life that you all come with me, to whatever next life there is. As he closes his eyes, says, well played, young Solo, well played. as the beam hits and his ship crew's Mon Cala cruiser is torn apart, resulting in his death. Jason sighs and looks forward. He was a good person. I wish that he had joined me, possibly, or he had just stood aside. He's pleased to see that the rest of them are making quick work, as they had quickly broken up after they had broken through, immediately cornered the rest of his ships. General Akbar only had 50 ships, and with Duro's fleet, which only numbered 25, they were still making headway. He immediately looked down on the planet below and then said, I guess it's time to begin the second steps of this operation. And that is where we're going to leave it off. So the first battle of the Republic's Civil War has begun, and General Akbar is dead. I hated how actually, like in like The Last Jedi, how he died. I feel like he should have had a better death. I hope this was a better death than he got in canon. In Legends, I'm sad he died in the Yuuzhan Vong War, but heck, he had a better death in the Legends than in canon. Just saying, I was a bit disappointed about that. So yeah, episode 4 is gonna more or less partake the invasion of Duros the land, sort of invasion, before we move on from this. So I guess without further ado, see ya.